Oh, there you go. And I'm gonna come to you, sir. Yes, sir.
I have two quick questions for you, bouncing off of things that you've already said. So, do you have any plan as a governor to walk back some of the restrictions we've had in our Second Amendment since the 2018 shooting, and maybe reduce the age to purchase a long gun, if not handgun, from 21 back to 18? One. And two, do you have a plan to potentially revoke or restructure some of the zoning laws here in Florida, especially here in Miami, where I think the median rent is something like $2,200, and 60% of all of the land here is structured as only single-family home? Do you have a plan to maybe get rid of some of that zoning, let people build what they want?
Let me deal with the Second Amendment first. We are gonna repeal what was done back in 2019 around people being able to buy long guns. If you're 18 years old, you should be able to buy a rifle. Because if you're 18 years old, you're allowed to be tried in our courts as an adult. You're allowed to enlist in our military and go fight for this country. We obviously know you're allowed to go vote. And so if you're allowed to do those things, you should be able to go buy a rifle or a shotgun or a long gun. And we are going to make sure that gets done in my first year as governor. And let me just be clear, not to them, they agree with me. To some of my other colleagues who might be concerned, nothing else will happen in our state until we restore the Second Amendment rights of the young people in Florida. And I want to be very clear on that. Because if you can't respect constitutional rights, then all this other stuff we talk about is a moot point. Now to local zoning. This is something where I think we should work with local government. We should work with local government on this, because part of regional planning is figuring out where you're going for not just housing, but the new roads that you're going to need, for commercial centers and where they're going to go, for some manufacturing that you're going to need it to grow your economies, and yes, some industry. I talked a little bit about finance. Let's talk about tech. Let's talk about tech in the future of our economy. What's going to happen over the next decade, Cape Canaveral, Kennedy Space Center, we're going to be doing it upwards of 500 to 1,000 launches per year out of Kennedy Space Center here in the state of Florida. We have a geographic advantage over everywhere else in the country, and we need to leverage that geographic advantage. When you do that, you have to start thinking about, well, where are we going to build manufacturing plants for commercial space? And how are we going to do that? So that's where I think regional planning is critical for the future of Florida. A lot of our counties have struggled with maintaining growth plans. And so we've seen as a result, a project gets put up over here, a project gets put up over there, this thing kind of drops over there. Hard to plan long-term road construction when you do it like that. So the roads get more jammed. We haven't really expanded them how we need to, and then people start to get frustrated. So to your zoning question, I believe we work with local government. And this is the governor's office working with the county commission in Miami, in Broward, and in Palm Beach County about what is the growth plan for South Florida. Because here's what I know. All the mayors, some of them are standing over there. Here's the truth. People of Florida don't care what the jurisdictional lines are. They don't care that they went between Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. They don't care if they're in Manalapan, or Sweetwater, or Doral, or Hialeah, or the city of Miami, or the city of Miami Beach. They don't care. They're trying to live their lives, see their friends, pick up their kids, get to work, and move seamlessly from point A to point B. That's why the governor's office, in my view, we are going to lead on setting up regional plans for each part of our state. And they're all different. You know, Miami-Dade is a little different from the Panhandle. Little different. We want to make sure that we have growth plans that make sense for each part of Florida, so you can deal with the housing that is necessary while also thinking about the commercial development, which is also necessary. And we want to make sure we protect Florida in the process.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just to answer my question.
Yeah, take this mic.